People, we're back again. 12 man's back. The Arsenal roundabout. We've got an elite panel tonight. We are actually going to do a show tomorrow night as well. Yeah, some people could make tonight. Some people couldn't make tonight. So I thought, it's international break. What else are we going to do? Let's do 2 shows. So we've got one tomorrow night as well, people. So big up to everybody that is here. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and you're following the sponsors, OK Jerseys. And in the live chat, you've got Match Bingo. Use the code POTS. Download Match Bingo. Enjoy it for the international break. There's nothing else to do other than Kenny Ken. Everyone I know literally can't stand it. So do big up to everybody that's here. We've got Christian in the house. We've got Aaron back. We've got Kenny, Matty, and DJB. D's going to jump on as well. We're going to talk Arsenal, and we're going to start with you, Christian. What do you make of all of the reaction from the Arsenal-Sunderland game? Is it a little bit over the top from some rivals who think Arsenal are throwing it away? Is it a little bit over the top from Arsenal fans who think that it's over and Man City have won the league now? Or is it about right? Are they right to be nervous of Manchester City, Christian?
I kind of understand all angles. Look, people saying that we're bottling it and this is the start of the downfall and this and that, that's obviously way too far. But if someone's saying they're disappointed and it's 2 points dropped and we threw it away, and I can understand that angle. If someone's saying that it's a point gained, other teams will go there and struggle, maybe lose or draw, and I can understand that angle as well. I kind of sit somewhere in the middle. I think straight after the game, I was quite reactionary. I said it was a terrible result. I said this, could be a turning point. It could be look, it's perspective at the end of the season, right? If you look back and we lose it by a point and Sunderland finished 14th, it looks like a terrible result. And maybe that's where we lost the league. If we win the league by however many points, and it doesn't matter where Sunderland finish because we win it. Even if we lose the league by a point or two and Sunderland finish top 6, top 8, and they take a lot of points off other teams, that this won't be the game where we lost the league. So I don't really know how I feel about it right now. I do know that it was 2 points dropped for sure. I think on the balance of it, I think we deserve to win the game. I think maybe in the first half, it was quite even. I think they had a game plan. They stuck it on us. They were physical. But I still think it was fine margins in that first half. They didn't really create much apart from their goal. We had, enough chances to score 1 or 2 goals. Saliba had a massive chance where he's 6-7 yards out with a volley and puts it over the bar. I know he's a centre-back, but come on, a Premier League player, you should put that on target. So look, we went in at half-time. Like I said, fine margins. And we came out in the second half, in my opinion, and were brilliant. I thought we were so good in that second half. We pressed them so much higher up. Our defensive line was much higher up. We played our game. We created enough chances. Got back into the game. I said this to you, Dan. We did a show earlier. We only had 2 fit attackers in that game. We had Saka and Trossard. Yeah, they're the 2 that scored. All right, Eze, but he's a midfielder. They're the 2 that scored. Great goal from Saka in his right foot. I thought that was a brilliant finish. And then obviously fantastic goal from Trossard. And all we had to do was hold on, man. What was it, 93rd, 94th minute? And, a goal that you don't really associate with Arsenal right now. The hopeful ball into the box. You don't win the first contact. Zubimendi, who is actually challenging the first ball, gets obviously flicked on. David Raya, you don't expect him to have a rush of blood and come rushing out. Doesn't get to it. I think if he goes to punch it, he probably gets there. If you look at him, he kind of goes like this. Tries to catch it and doesn't get there. Obviously, Gabriel doesn't make it. It's a good finish, and we draw 2-2. So, yeah, I'm still kind of processing it in a weird way. I still don't know exactly how I feel. I said that the City-Liverpool game would influence how I feel a bit more. And, yeah, obviously the ideal result was a draw. City won it. But I'm still not sure if that was the result I wanted or not what I wanted, because now it feels like Liverpool are out of it. I don't think it's concrete that they're out of it, but it feels like that. And I know a lot of their fans feel that way. So in a way, this weekend almost made it a 3-horse race to a 2-horse race. So we kind of know our objective a bit more now. Stay ahead of Manchester City, essentially, and we should win this league is how it looks right now. And I still think they're inconsistent. Me and you did a show earlier on my channel, and we both said it, they've got quality, obviously, but I think they can still be got at. Defensively, they're still not the strongest. They will concede goals. It's only a couple of weeks ago they went out to Villa and lost 1-0. They lost to Brighton this season. They've lost other games this season. Came to us and sat back and drew. I think we could go to the Etihad and win. I don't think they're the treble winning City. I don't think they're the Centurion City, but they've got quality. So if we take our foot off the gas and start throwing away stupid points, then they will win it. And last time we were in a title race with City, we didn't bottle it. Got 89 points, right? They were just so much better. They got 91. What can you do? So if we keep doing that,
Get 92.
Huh?
Get 92.
I don't think you'll need 92 points to win it this year.
Well, you said we didn't bottle it, but I'm saying, what can you do if you get 89 points and they get 91? Well, you get 92.
Yeah. But I don't think that squad was good enough to get 92 points. You know, the Invincibles got 90. Still impressive to get 89. If you lose it on 89, you kind of got to hold your hands up. Pep Guardiola team, great team, world-class players. I think if we get 84, 85 this season, we'll probably win it. So, yeah, I'm not too down about it. Just keep doing our thing, get our players back fit after the international break. Tottenham at home, obviously, then Chelsea away. Win those two and see where we are.
Okay, it's interesting. So before I come to Aaron, I'll give you my take on it quite quickly. I think there has been a little bit of overreaction from some fans. Say, oh my God, it's mentality again. We're going to bottle it. We're going to throw it away. We've all been here before. We are 4 points ahead of Man City. We're 6 ahead of Chelsea and 8 ahead of Liverpool. And to be fair, going into the second international break, I probably would have taken that, boys, to be honest with you. Now, what I will say is the last international break where people were fairly confident about Arsenal, we're playing quite well. We were only 1 point ahead of Liverpool, 3, I think, ahead of Manchester City. And something like 6 ahead of Chelsea. So what we've been able to do is actually pull away. But it seems that in the international break, when we were 1 point ahead, everyone was like, whoa, Arsenal might do it. In the international break, we're 4 points ahead. Oh, I'm not sure that we will now. I don't quite know how that makes sense, to be honest. But what I will say is that it was very disappointing, Aaron, mentality-wise, not to see that game out. I actually disagree with Christian. I thought Sunderland deserved a point out of the game. I actually thought they were very, very good. And although we did enough to win the game, some would say, in terms of our chances, I think it would have been quite cruel on Sunderland to walk away with there after setting up the way that they did. But look, I personally am not losing my head yet. Is that crazy? Should I be going more mental or should I be calm?
No, you shouldn't. But the problem that we sort of has as fans that are of us or of similar minds is sort of like they always sort of say about the PTSD and things like that. Yes, there is a little bit of PTSD. I'll put my hands up. I'll speak for myself. I do have a little bit of PTSD when it comes to this manager and this football club. And then the next question will be why? I'm happy to explain why. Because we've been there, seen there, done it, not just over one season, not over 10 games, but over numerous seasons and numerous different challenges. Top 4, lost it. 8 point ahead, lost it. Then we were challenging for Manchester City the latter season and we didn't quite get it over the line. So there are little bits of PTSD that I think is just you get 8 points ahead, you get 5 points ahead, whatever. It's still so early. We just want to be cautious. We want to just keep our feet nice and firmly on the ground. And do you know what you said there, Dan? It's a little bit funny, and I know it's only one game, and I'm not one of them fans that were going over the other top. Oh yeah, that's all it. But it's Manchester City being so good after we were that poor and giving away that was the real cherry on top of the icing of a really poor tasting cake, you know. And we should be beaten, man. We should be beaten, sorry, a Sunderland side. But we didn't, fair enough. But what really rubbed it in was seeing how Manchester City were that good. And now 4 points, yes, it is only 11 games. Is there an Arsenal fan that can honestly say they're not doing this now? A little bit worried, just a little bit like that. Because the worrying thing is it's like a Liverpool, yeah. Look at them at the first 5 games of the season. You thought champions win, champions win, champions win. You get your hindsight and you get your context. And when you actually look back at it, you go, do you know what? Maybe they've been quite a little bit poor all season. That's cool because that's in hindsight. When you sort of start dropping a couple of little points and you get a poor performance and a set piece didn't rescue us this time, you start going, yeah, the Man United result was a bit crap, wasn't it? We got over the line, cool. The Newcastle performance weren't that great. The Crystal Palace weren't. So the point that we're sort of saying is it was never really going to be 100% that we're always going to play like this and keep nicking these and getting it over the line. I don't expect Arsenal Football Club, Dan, to win every single game. I don't. But it's not sustainable the way we're playing. And just that annoying thing is just seeing how good Manchester City were, 1-0 up, 2-0 up, constantly attacking Liverpool. And then Arsenal Football Club, 1-0 down. We show their fighting spirit. We equalise. Cool, buzzing, great. Trossard, rocket, 2-1. Excellent, buzzing. I'm all for it. What does Mikel Arteta do? You get thrown tactical decisions in seasons, in games that define how the outcome of the game is going to be. We don't know this. No one knows this. Mikel Arteta had a choice to make. And he made a tactical choice. He did. No one else did. No one else did for him. Mikel Arteta, in his own volition, decided that he would take off Eze, who was having a poor game, by the way. That's cool. And he would only bring on Mosquera. Now, that was his choice and his choice alone. And what did that coincide with? They were already building into a game, which was a very good atmosphere by Sunderland. And by the way, fair do Sunderland, fair do Sunderland. But they were already coming into the game. We had a lead to protect, and it was late in the game. Why on earth would you only just bring on Mosquera? Now, I'm not knocking that substitution on its own. I'm just saying, why would you go to a back five whilst you've got a Declan Rice who was absolutely flagging, by the way? You could see, come on, he was putting his head down. You could see it and going, come on, Declan, just keep running. Bukayo Saka wasn't even in the camera shot for about 30 seconds. He was that knackered. And you've got now a back five inviting pressure on, and the three in front of you, the four in front of you, are absolutely knackered. They've got no legs whatsoever. Why are you leaving a Bukayo Saka on that's absolutely shot to bits? Why can't you bring an Ethan Nwaneri on who's full of beans? Do you know what I mean? Why can't you do that? Why can't you complement that Mosquera substitution with that? We invited the pressure on, Dan. The pressure was building, and Arteta just put that sign on our head. Come and pressure us. You will score. And it happened. It's a frustrating one to take because 2-1 up against the promoted side, 6 years, 7 years in, £1 billion spent. We should be able to hold that off. And a Liverpool winning side, a Manchester City winning side, they win that game 3-1, Dan. They win that game 3-1. They don't draw that 2-2. And that's the frustrating thing for me, man. I know I waffled on there. I apologise.
No, I think you've made your points pretty clear. Though I'm not gonna lie. I think you made your points pretty clear. I actually don't, Kenny, blame Mikel Arteta solely. I actually don't know that there was much more that I would have done from the bench. Maybe Ethan could have come on instead of Eza. Maybe the flagging players could have come off and we could have brought on someone. But when I'm looking at a 15-year-old, an 18-year-old, and nothing else to bring on in the attack, I'm not so sure for the first time that I can sit there with Mikel and go, what are you doing? Because if I'm honest, we're probably 90 seconds away from everyone going, oh, he shored that up well and we won 2-1. So it's gone the other way. He's brought him on. When you do that, you can't really concede because people are going to have a go at you, right? So I kind of get that. But I actually don't know where you're at in relation to this weekend and what it means, Kenny. Manchester City absolutely annihilating Liverpool and Arsenal dropping the ball to a draw at Sunderland.
Well, first and foremost, something more important happened here. It was just a reminder, just at least we forget that the Premier League is a bloody hard league to win. And let's give Sunderland some credit. You know, our defenders remembered what it was like to have an attacker that actually gets in front of you and makes you defend, turns you on your heels. We never had that in about probably since the Man City game. Our defenders were on their heels. Why? Because Sunderland's put us under pressure. They had a forward, Isidore, who worked Gabriel, who worked Saliba. When they attacked, they attacked in numbers, which meant all our defenders all had to learn their jobs. They all had to watch players. You know, there was no spare men because all the spare men were occupied. You know, Sunderland deserve a bit of credit. You know, all the basics they did well. And when they went 2-1 down, they didn't just thought, all right, it's game over, blah, blah. They got numbers forward. That's what you do. All this stuff about, oh, yeah, defences can never be breached. What a load of rubbish. If you get in a midfielder's face and you put that midfielder under pressure and you run, you'll get something out of it. If your attackers make our defenders, turn our defenders and get in behind us, then we're going to have problems. And that's exactly what happened against Sunderland. They deserved everything they got in that game. Another realisation as well, for me, is that our bench or our understudies need to step up because we're relying too much on our spine. Despite us people saying we've got this great squad, well, we need to get real and start saying it as it is. Eze needs to step up. That's not digging him out. He hasn't played well since he's got that Odegaard's position. When Odegaard comes back to the team, I'm putting Odegaard back in the team. I'm not dropping Trossard. Why should he get dropped? He ain't done anything wrong. In fact, he's upped his game. Another realisation as well, and I'll talk about the tactics. All right. He didn't trust Dauman and he didn't trust Ranieri. The reason why I didn't trust Ranieri is because he saw that Zubimendi was getting pressed out of the game, and Zubimendi was missing his runners because of the pressure under. So if Zubimendi, an experienced player, is going to do that, he's not going to trust Ranieri. And then let's get a Dowman. Everyone says he should have got on. Well, I'm sorry. As much as I'm critical of Arteta, and it transpired against us, do you think he's actually going to trust Dowman when Sunderland trying to get back in the game, and Sunderland, you trying to tell me that Sunderland not going to go try and play diagonal balls on Dowman's side and get Dowman trying to defend and occupy him? You know it's going to happen. A 15-year-old, as far as I'm concerned, is not the full ticket tactically. So he wouldn't take the risk. But in being cautious and being negative, what he did is he invited pressure. And Sunderland, and in the end, it transpired against us. But something more important happened as well. We nearly nicked it at the end. If Calafiori, put that chance away, and Sunderland weren't resolute in their defending for Marino, it might be a different podcast. We would have said, you know what, we've got our Joe here. But just a little reminder, we're not as good as we think we are because we haven't won anything. We're not infallible. That the Premiership is a hard bastard league. And that's where, just remind yourselves, don't get carried away with anything. Don't get carried away with our defence. Don't get carried away by saying this is elite. We weren't able to deal with the pressure Sun, put us under. But there's going to be other games where, who knows, maybe that's a blueprint to beat Arsenal. So my message to Eze, Gyökeres, Zubimendi, and any of you guys trying to make an impression, up your game, because after the international break, we're getting games thick and fast. We're going to need you. Because at the moment, our manager's relying on his spine because tactically he doesn't trust his new players.
Listen, there's some great takes there, to be fair. I think you're right, Ken, with a lot of what you've said. And sometimes we do have to keep feet on the ground, and understand why people do get excited. A couple of super chats here. Aaron, please go see Dan. I don't understand what he means. Go see me. I don't understand what that means. But big up to you, bro. And next one is Stephen. Aaron is right. Arteta PTSD. There are a lot of people, Matty, that are starting to get a little bit of PTSD. I don't really know why the shark emojis are coming out now. Weren't they already there? Like, weren't Man City already chasing us? I don't really understand why they're chasing us since we dropped points. Surely they was chasing us like last week and the week before, right? I don't really get it. But what's your take on this one, Matty, this weekend, bro?
Well, I think it's just a case of, I just think a lot, people were moving a little bit too fast there. It felt good. We've been rolling. The defenses look good. But I think it was D a couple of weeks ago was trying to tell everybody, well, hold on, wait a minute, wait. and now we go to this weekend and we have a little slip up moment. But as Kenny stated just a few seconds ago, the bigger picture for me out of this whole game was that we had the game wrapped up. And this is where, when we talk about aspirations of winning a title, winning a trophy, having a truly successful season, we've got to learn. We have got to learn to shut games down like that. We did all of the hard work, and as a former coach, nothing hurts as bad as coming all the way back, and you got the game, and then it gets away from you right there at the end. Yes, it's a point, but early on, we said this last season. At least I said it last season. Is you want a situation where you have a chance to maximize points early, in case something goes wrong at the end of the year. We don't know what's on the other side of the coin. We have got to learn how to not let the game get away from us. And that's exactly what happened in the last few minutes of that game. We were all over the place. JB, Kenny, and I, we all broke down footage yesterday. We were all over the place the last few minutes of that game. We've got Zubimendi. He doesn't know what's going on. He's out of position. He's not diagnosing situations properly. We've got Saliba trying to mark a person. You got Magalhaes. You got he's marking two people. We're getting beat on throw-ins. It's just basic football. We just got took the task there in the last few minutes of that game from Sunderland, and it's partly because once the manager made that substitution, and brought on the defender, they said, well, hey, you know what? Let's have a shot. Let's see what we can do. Worst we can do is tie it up. And what did they do? Tie it up. We cannot start a habit of dropping points early. I'm sure we'll probably come back and rectify this, but let this game be a word of caution for everyone that we are not invincible. Teams will still test us. We're going to have a strong, stern test once we get back from the international break. We're going to learn a lot about ourselves. When we get back, you've got Spurs in the derby, you've got Bayern, and you've got Chelsea. And I don't care what form Chelsea is on, it's still Chelsea Football Club, and it's still Tottenham Hotspur. Those are Spurs is a must-win for me, because if we have spent this much money on this team, and what I've seen the last couple of weeks of watching them, and if we can't get a result from them, then I'll actually start growing hair by the time Dan see me. Just let y'all know that now. We should. There's no reason that we shouldn't be able to go there and get points off Spurs as far as I'm concerned with the team that we've got. Bayern, a different kettle of fish, and then Chelsea, of course, that's just Chelsea. But we've got to get ready to get on the run, because as Kenny stated, there's going to be no international breaks. Everybody from 2 to 12 we play for the rest of it for the next 2 or 3 months. So if we drop points, they gain ground. That's where we need to start looking at it now. Is if we drop points against these teams, they gain ground on us. So we've got to find another run of form. We've got to go on another streak like we did. Get 4 or 5 games here. What we don't need to start doing is we don't need to start doing this thing where we win 2 games here, drop 2, pick up points there. You drop, start being inconsistent, because that's where we find ourselves in trouble with. That's what got us last year. We were inconsistent. And by the time we got consistent, it was too late. And so hopefully the manager will have identified the problem areas from this past weekend. Some players will have some form of introspective looking at themselves. Zubamendi, I'm talking to you. So hopefully that is sorted out by the time we get back from the international break. But, like I said, for me, I just felt like the game got away. Sunderland definitely worked hard. They earned their point. But at the same time, we dropped the point. And those are the kind of games that drive me crazy, because I look at those situations and I place our team in situations where that could very well be a cup semifinal. That could very well be a cup final. And we've got to learn to be able to put teams away and put them away put them away when we have the opportunity. So.
No, look, facts, absolutely. DJ, I want to get your thoughts on the weekend and obviously the Sunderland game, but I wanted to ask you as well on top of that about Eze, because Eze's getting a lot of kind of, not grief, but he's getting question marks about his form, and I think it's worth discussing now. We've seen him for a handful of games. He has made contributions. He's made goals and assists, unlike some other players that have been bought to other clubs, but he is rightly so getting questioned about his impact and contribution and kind of creativity in games at the moment, DJ.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's fair. Just getting back to the Saturday's game, when you're given the title of best team in Europe, then you should be going to Sunderland and getting 3 points when you're 2-1 up, if you're the best team in Europe. And then we talk about injuries. Well, no one wants Havertz back in the team anyway. So even if he was fit, no one wants Havertz back in the team. That's why we bought Gyökeres. So I'm not sure where it's all coming from. They look tired then, to be honest. Rice's legs had gone. This ain't the first time. The amount of running he's doing in midfield. Zubamendi, to me, is not strong enough. He's not Patrick Vieira. And if Prime Party would still walk into this team. Zubamendi's brilliant when he's got space, when he's got the ball, and he's got space and he's got time. But when he's under pressure, you saw what Zubamendi done on Saturday. His positioning's all wrong. He gets bullied. He's easy to get off the ball. When you're chasing a title, you can't afford to have a number 6 like that. So he has to step up, not just Eze. Then you look at Eze. Now, you could look at Eze and go, well, I thought we was going to get the Crystal Palace Eze. Doing all sorts of madness. But Eze's playing into a very, very structured system with his football manager. And whether you like it or not, players come to the club and it takes them time to adapt to the way Mikel Arteta wants players to play. and Eze's suffering from that. You get moments from him. Of course, you're going to get moments from him. He's a great player. You're going to get things in the game where he'll pick a pass out. But we bought Eze to unlock teams. We bought Eze to contribute for 90 minutes, not 5-10 minutes here and there. That's why we paid the money, and we're not getting that. So then you say, "Oh, we'll move him out on the left." Well, I'm sorry, he ain't even better than Trossard at the moment, and I'm not a massive fan of Trossard. So when you have got to shut the door on your captain, who's captain of the football club, who Arteta admires immensely, Odegaard, you've got to do all sorts of madness on the football pitch to leave that person out of the team. And he hasn't shown enough to leave Odegaard out of the team when he comes back from injury. So Odegaard's coming back in the team. Trossard's going to be out on the left. Havertz is coming back fit because everyone's saying about injuries. Well, Havertz is coming back, everyone. There's your injury players coming back into the team. We ain't looking no different from what we were last season. And that team didn't win anything. So Gyökeres has got to come back, and he's got to prove a point that, and he has scored goals, give him his credit. That's what he's there for, to score goals. I'd like him in a more central position rather than chasing down and doing all this running. I'd like him to do less running off the ball and get in the positions where he can score goals. And it's true what Kenny says. These players have got to step up. They have to step up. When you're chasing a Premiership title and your manager is under so much pressure to win silverware, you've got to step up. I was told that this team will never be out-bullied, never be out-muscled. We've got a squad now that can go. We won't be seeing this squad go to places like Brentford and all of that and be out-muscled and be out-strengthened. Well, they were in huge parts of the games on Saturday. They were completely out-bullied. They lost the physical battle in a lot of areas of the game on Saturday. And I was told that this was never going to happen. This squad is unbelievable.
It's the blueprint, isn't it, D?
And it happened.
Well,
So
yeah, sounds like we lost 5-0, DJ. Did we lose?
No. What I'm saying is, listen.
Have we lost in the last 11 games?
No. I'm glad. No, what I'm saying is, you asked me about the Eze and you asked me to look at the thing. I'm looking at what I saw on Saturday.
Yeah, but you started going downhill.
It's a reality check. What I'm saying is, it's a reality check.
That's fine, but start saying there's no difference to last season. We were bullied.
No.
We're out muscled. I told this would never happen. I told her the best.
Yeah, but if we're going to bring players back into the squad, if we've got our new players out of form and we're bringing players back in the squad,
well, I feel like
it's going to set up similar, isn't it? If Eze's on the bench,
if we were that close to beating Sunderland, right? Good performance in the second half. Yeah, I think they were physically put it on us in the first half. Although that elbow on Marino, another day, maybe that's a penalty, red card. Who knows? If it is, it is or it isn't. Doesn't matter. But if we had two fit attackers, you're saying players are going to come back. If we had all our attackers fit, or two or three options,
we could have got a result. We could have got a result. Yeah, I agree. But
so
what I'm saying is,
it's going to be negative.
It's a reality check, isn't it? Well, let me show you. It's a reality check, and sometimes when you have a reality check, it's good long term. Because now the players will think, hang on a minute, we've been on this wave, we've not conceded a goal. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a wake-up call. And I'm just hoping it's the wake-up call that we need. Because let's be honest, we was all away with the fairies, weren't we? Oh, no, teams have not even had a shot against us. We've not conceded any goals. So sometimes you need them results to go, well, hang on a minute, things ain't quite right. So, it is a good thing that we, perhaps in hindsight, it might have been the draw that we needed. Because as I said, we've got tough fixtures coming up. And sometimes when you drop points like that from winning positions, it's a wake-up call. So I'm just repeating what everyone says. Just keep your feet on the ground. Take every game as it comes. But players do have to step up. And you've got to be mindful. I'm not happy with Zubimendi. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see what everyone else sees. I don't put him in the bracket of world class. I don't see that he's made a huge difference to this team. I think defensively, on the defensive side of things, I think he's weak. So that's something that we need to look at.
If I'm honest, like DJ, me and DJ were talking to the George a few weeks ago. Now I don't know what bloody game it was now. And I think it's the first time me and DJ disagree because I've liked Zubimendi. DJ's not been sure. I appreciate he's not the presence of party. I don't think they're similar, if I'm honest. But I do think Zubimendi has complemented Rice, and I think Rice has been allowed to play a lot closer to him. And we've now seen the Declan Rice that I wanted to see, which, you know, Kenny and me had this argument for about 18 months about, is he a 6? Is he an 8? Is he a 6? Is he an 8? He's kind of doing everything at the moment, Rice. He's just unbelievable. I think he's been outstanding, if I'm honest with you. But I actually quite like Zubimendi. But what do you think, D, of this team right now? Because it has been solid. It has been resolute. It is going to concede. It was going to concede at some point. I actually thought we were going to win 2-1. My prediction was 2-1. And obviously we dropped the ball at the end there. But do you think some of the points DJ's made are fair?
Do you know what? I actually agree a little bit more with some of the things that Matty was saying. I don't actually agree too much with what DJB was saying, because I think we've got to be careful not to overanalyze a draw at Sunderland. I think what we're doing, we're overanalyzing a little bit for no reason. If we look at the season as a whole, we've been spectacular, nothing short of phenomenal. And that is with the case of looking poorly against Liverpool, looking poorly against Man City, thinking that we were too negative, feeling like we're never going to win the league, feeling like we're not title challengers. Like, we've been nothing short of phenomenal. Our whole team's been brilliant. And like, we're playing Sunderland away from home. We now know our fixtures up to this point have been the hardest in the league. We now know that Sunderland away is also one of the hardest games in the league. That was our hardest game of the season, no doubt about it. So I think we need to not overanalyze it too much, because I think what we're doing, we can look at all the things about Eze this and Trossard that, but these guys are the guys that have been winning us games. And when you talk about Zubimendi is exactly the opposite of what DJB described. He's a complete opposite. Zubimendi is a diminutive player. We know that, but everything about him, he wins almost every header that he gets into. He wins all his duels. He's helped Declan Rice because he actually wins the ball back more than Declan Rice does. People don't even realize that. Zubimendi wins the ball constantly in the middle of the park. I don't think people really see that. So he might not be the super big and like belabor and go and bully players head and everywhere, but he times his tackles, he intercepts it all the time. He wins the ball constantly. That's why Declan Rice has looked so good, because they're both winning the ball back. He's not doing it on his own. Obviously, I understand the situation where we feel that like every time we lose or have a draw, we're gonna analyze and feel like, oh, are we ready for the title? And like, I think this should show you that we are, because Sunderland are unbeaten at home so far. They beat Chelsea away. You're gonna see a lot of top teams playing Sunderland and struggling. So I think this should show you that we are definitely ready for the title race. Whether we win it or not is a different matter, but we're definitely ready for it. And I think we, as a whole, it's quite hard to look at this team and find really we've already had an injury crisis. This season, we've already had an injury crisis. We could have easily been out of the title race already. We've had an injury crisis already.
Best squad in the world, though, D. We've got the best squad in the world, though, D.
Who said we got the best squad in the world? Did you say that, or who said that?
No, most of you boys seem to be peddling that out. It's the best squad in the world.
But you said Arteta is terrible.
What relevance is that to what I initially said?
What relevance got to say?
You're bamboozling. You're bamboozling.
What's the relevance if you said we got the best squad?
Now you're just copying what I'm saying, D. Now you're just copying what I'm saying.
No, I was talking and you cut in. I was talking, you cut in.
I just asked you a question and then you bamboozled.
You said you didn't ask me a question. You said we got the best squad in the world. That's not a question.
Yeah.
That's
What are we complaining about injuries? What are we complaining about injuries already? We're 11 games in with the best squad in the world, and you're already complaining about injuries.
Who said we got the best squad in the world? Who said we had the best squad in the world?
Hey, man, he's trying to take a dig at me. Just ignore him, man.
I really won't. Stop being so narcissistic.
You are, bro. You said it backstage.
One sec.
Before we went live, Aaron goes, "Oh yeah, but Christian is the best team in the world, isn't it?" And I was like, "Cool, man. If you want to do that, I'm not trying to fight you on it. I'm trying to talk about Arsenal. That is what it is."
Mate, listen, I wasn't even thinking about you when I was
you said it already.
Oh no, yeah, and I'll say it a million times. It's not about you.
Do you feel like we got the best? Do you feel like we got the best squad in the world? Do you feel like we have or don't?
Who?
No, Aaron. Do you feel like we got the best squad in the world?
Well, no.
What's the best league in the world, in your opinion?
Why did you say it? Why did you say it?
Let me just ask you a
Well,
question.
because you're complaining about injuries.
What's the
We can't
strongest
have
league in
this
the world, in your
fantastic
opinion?
squad.
I didn't
We
complain
can't
about
have-
injuries. I said I said no.
we can't have this
This is
unbelievably
what I said.
fantastic squad.
Now.
And then
No.
let's assess who's
No.
injured.
No.
Havertz,
I
no
don't
one
wanna
wants
do it. Let
him.
me-
No one wants Havertz. Let's
Said-
assess injured.
Let me finish what I was saying, 'cause
Madueke, no one cares.
You've already had
He's
your
been-
segment.
yeah,
You've had your segment
Madueke-
already, bro.
Let's
You've
go.
had your
All right,
segment
so you want me to
already.
explain? So you want me
No,
to
I don't.
explain
No,
myself, and now you
No, I
don't want me
don't.
to
I don't.
explain
I don't.
myself.
Yeah, no, I don't want you to. I
What
don't
one
want you
is
to
it?
explain. I
Okay,
don't-
cool.
Me-
Okay,
Oh,
sweet.
it's not. I don't want you to explain. I will explain because I was
Cool.
talking. I was
Okay,
saying what I was
sweet.
saying. So my point I
I
was
won't
making
explain
was,
the question then. Okay, cool.
all right, perfect. I don't want you to. So what I was saying, the point I was making
Thank you
was,
very much.
no worries. What I was saying is, we was already.
Just for
We
you,
was
Dick.
already. All right, bro. All right, you're gonna get clipped up, Aaron. Don't worry, he's gonna clip you.
I don't
Don't
care.
don't panic, bro. You're gonna
I'm not
get
bothered
clipped.
about that.
But anyway, what I was saying,
I'm an
what I
Arsenal
was
fan,
saying-
not a content creator. Don't worry
You
about
don't
it.
act. You don't act like it. You don't act like one. You don't
Well,
act like.
that's
You don't act like
your
an
opinion,
Arsenal
isn't it, brother?
Your headphones
your
and
opinion,
microphones
brother.
are very different, man.
Bro,
Let's-
I don't know.
let's- Let's get back to football, man. Let's get back
say
to
it down.
football.
Get back to the
Let's say
football.
it down. Bro, what? Listen, what? I don't know what is wrong with you. All I'm saying is, I said we've already had an injury crisis. This is a fact. We've got like 7 or 8 players out. I don't know what point you're making. You're saying we've got the best squad in the world, this and that.
I was
You're
trying to
being
make it, and you wouldn't let me finish.
No, you're being sarcastic to something that's a fact. I don't know why. You're the one being sarcastic. I don't know why.
Can we assess the injured players then? Gabriel Jesus been out for ages. Okay, cool. Madueke been brought as a backup. All right, cool. What
Odegaard,
about
captain.
Havertz? Oh yeah, we've already replaced him. Other than
Odegaard.
and we brought in Eze to replace him. Okay, cool.
Gyökeres.
Pretty much. Yeah, okay,
Gyökeres.
Gyökeres. That's the only one.
Saka, was Saka not injured then?
One.
Saka wasn't injured then, no?
He's not been injured for a few games. No,
Was
no, he
Saka
hasn't.
injured
No.
or not? Was he
Saliba
injured
was
or
out.
not, bro?
Mosquera came in.
I don't
What
understand.
are we playing at here, boys? You're all crying about all the injuries and all that. I'm just saying, most
Who
of our
was
first
crying?
teams here.
Bro, you're
Most
the
of our first
listen,
teams
listen,
here,
listen.
boys.
Bro, listen, you're not every day,
contradicting
not every day
yourself.
you have to find something wrong with what someone said, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen first. That's why you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. You listen more than you talk. Sometimes, yeah, when people
All
are
I said,
talking,
all I
you're
said
doing it again,
was
you're doing it
we've got
again,
the
you're
best
doing it
squad in the
again.
world. That's all I said.
Okay, but what difference does it make, bro? What's your point? Your point is you're making a point for no reason.
Mate.
I'm trying to explain to you, we've got an injury crisis. That's a fact. Whether you like
It's
it or
not
not, it
crisis.
doesn't really make no difference. All right, to you, it's not. When you're on your segment, you can cuss the club. When it's on my segment, when Dan asks me a question,
Okay.
I will say what I want to say. You cut in my bit. I don't know why. So anyway, my point is, it's very
Sorry,
simple.
D.
Say again?
Sorry, D. Sorry for
Yes, all right,
cutting
no
in your
problem.
segment.
No problem, bro. No problem. No problem. You're forgiven. You're forgiven. But anyway, my point was, I feel like this team has done everything they need to do so far because right now we've had got a lot of injuries and we're still top of the league. That was my point. So my point was, we've actually managed to cover the injuries that we've got. We're going to go into the international break and they're all coming back. That's the point I'm trying to make. So you saying that we've got injured, we've got the best team in the world, whatever. That is the whole point of having a deep squad. This is what you want, no? You want to be able to cover the injuries that you've got, which is what we've done.
Hey, can I ask you a question? Sorry, Cutting. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go on.
Out of all those injured players that are coming back, who would you start?
What do you
My point
mean?
exactly.
Out of all those injured players that have been out injured,
Do any of them get in the
Yeah.
first
because
11?
no one. Who would you?
Gyökeres not start then.
Gyökeres is the only one, yeah.
Odegaard, does Odegaard not start? He's our captain.
Odegaard would start over Eze. Right, okay.
Yeah, so what do you mean?
Okay.
That's on that
But
side.
Eze was brought to strengthen the team. Eze was hopefully going to be an
But he has strengthened the team. He has strengthened the team.
So out of all those injured players that are coming back, you'd start Odegaard and Gyökeres. Two players.
Obviously, there are 2 first team
Right.
players.
So we weren't massively under strength to beat a Sunderland team. Then,
Yeah,
was
of course. No, it's not about beating us. This is what I'm saying. You're talking about beating a Sunderland team. There's no guarantee that if we
That's
have
what I'm
Odegaard
talking
and
about. That's the only game that
Gyökeres, we're going to beat a Sunderland team anyway. Sunderland have not lost at home so far this season.
You
So
know,
you
Should
say
injuries matter? Should injuries matter beating a promoted side?
We were
Hold on,
told
you're
that
talking about-
we
you're
weren't
talking
going to
about-
make
you're talking about two
excuses
different
about
things.
injuries. We weren't going to make excuses about injuries.
Who made
Injuries
excuses
were
about
now gonna
injuries?
be
I'm
as
trying to
much-
explain to you. I'm trying to
It
explain to
is
you
a
the
fact
reason
that we've
why.
got injuries, but it's also a fact that out of all those injuries, you would play Odegaard and not Eze, and you would play Gyökeres. Two
Yeah,
players.
what's your point?
Well,
Yeah.
my point of the
But
matter
I don't know
is,
what point you're making. I don't know what point. what's the point?
Eze, then what I was trying to make, Eze
Yeah.
needs to step up, right? Because Dan said, "What's your reviews on Eze?" Well, if you're going to bring Odegaard back into the team, Eze's not really doing anything, is he?
But the Sunderland game, there's no guarantee that if Odegaard and Gyökeres played, would beat Sunderland anyway. I don't know what you're saying.
What's the excuse of the injuries then?
What do you mean excuse of what? What excuse of what?
You-
Where's the
you're
excuse
saying
for what? We're top of the
that's the
league.
excuse. You're saying there's an injury crisis and it's an excuse for the Sunderland. That's what you were saying.
That's not what I said. You didn't
You
listen to
were
what I said again. You talk more than you
Come on.
listen. That's not what I
Come
said.
on.
I said there's an injury crisis and we're still top of the league. So it shows that this is the whole point of going through what we went through to get the squad we needed, because we're still top. That was my point. But you cut in, so you didn't actually hear my point. Because obviously you want to say what you want to say, because you've got an agenda to say, oh, I want to find something wrong with what these guys say.
No
When
agenda.
you said injury crisis, you did. Let me tell you why you did. Because you said, I said, who said that? You said, you all. Who's you all?
I told you, D. Can I just make a point?
No, I want to know who's you all. You said you all said that. I said, who's you
No,
all?
D, I'll explain to you. Backstage before we started, Aaron goes, "Oh, but Christian, we got the best squad in the world, haven't we?" I went, "All right, mate." I said a thing after we won a game and I was gassed. Like, I think we've got a very, very good squad. It's up there. I've seen rival fans do rankings, put us in the top 3. I'm an Arsenal fan. I put us 2 higher. Like, is it that deep? Right? These point he was trying to make. Yeah, the injuries we've had. Saliba missed games, right? 21-year-old new player came in. We had no idea about. Covered really well for a number of games. Yeah, Saka was out. Yeah, Madueke played a number of games, covered really well. Yeah, Jesus and Havertz were out. Gyökeres was rushed straight into the team. You can argue if he's been good or not. Fair enough. I think he was good. He was getting better. Then he got injured. Then Marino's gone up front, played in the Champions League, scored 2 goals. Didn't play that well against Sunderland. Martinelli's been out, who was a great squad option for us, coming off the bench and doing business late on in games. He's been out. Trossard's had to play more minutes. What D's saying, the point he's making, we've had all these injuries. Odegaard, who was obviously a starter for us, was getting back to his best. He's been out. So Eze's had to play most games, most minutes, most games. D's point is that with all these injuries that we've had, I wouldn't say it's a crisis because we've got a deep squad. If we didn't have a deep squad, it'd be a crisis. With all the injuries we've had, we're still top of the league. We still won every single game in the Champions League. We still won our 2 Carabao Cup games. That's all he's saying. He's not saying,
and you know what it is as well, Christian. Let me tell you what the facts are. These are the facts here. Let me tell you what the facts are. These are the facts. You never hear Aaron disagreeing with what anything Kenny says, DJB says, or Matt says. Because as far as he's concerned, it can only be me, Stricto, Igal, and you, right? That's what he thinks. Because you don't ever hear him. You didn't cut him when DJB was talking. Once you didn't cut him when DJB was talking, did you? You didn't cut him when DJB was talking.
I disagree with DJB all the time on things.
Yeah, but I'm talking about on this stream. You didn't cut him when he was talking, though, did you? You didn't cut him when he was talking, though, did you?
Me and Aaron had a right row this summer over what Berta was doing in the transfer market.
Yeah.
So me and him kept going back and forth over the summer.
I'm talking about on these streams. On these streams, it seems to think that he can just cut in when I'm talking and just say what he wants to say and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to prove my point.
I said one comment. What are you still hung up on it for, bro?
Listen. Let me explain.
I said one comment.
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm not that guy that you think that you can just be online and just say, oh, you know what? I'm going to prove my point with this guy. I'm not that guy. So I'm letting you know that directly on stream.
It was a comment, D. Why are you being so? What's your deal with it?
I'm going to explain to you. If you let me finish, I'll tell you. Because I've got this thing where you seem to think that you can just say, you know what? I'm going to prove my point here with what he said because I can. And I'm trying to explain to you, if you'd listen to what I was saying, what you said is not actually what I said. But because you didn't listen, you had a point to prove. Because Christian explained when it was backstage, you had a point to prove, right? Because you said, oh, we got the best squad in the world. We got the best squad in the world. And when I said to you, who are you talking about? You said, you all. Who's you all? So I'm trying to explain to you.
I just hope you never cut me again, D. That's what I'm saying. That's it. I just hope you never.
I'm just letting you know. I'm not that guy that you think that. I'm not that guy that you think that you can just decide.
I think we just need to move on from this. It's getting a bit.
I'm
just getting blown over proportion. Let's swerve.
I'm making it clear to you. I'm making it clear to you, though. I'm making it clear to you so you understand directly. I'm making it clear to you directly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well done.
Hey, Dan, can I?
What I'll say is, I think what D was meaning, and I don't know. It was so long ago now that he's brought it up. But I think what D was trying to make out was the squad's improved because we've got 6 attackers out, but not many people are talking about it because the squad depth's improved. And I think from that, where people have misunderstood is that D was making an excuse that we've got injuries. That's why we can't beat Sunderland. Is that basically in a nutshell what's just happened in the last 10, 15?
Yeah, I think so. Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's down to
Okay.
my fault. I don't
Okay.
mind holding my hands up with some bits.
No,
but
that's
don't
fine,
have
man.
a
As long as
proportion.
we're,
Come on, man.
all cool, it's all good, man. It's all good.
And
Yeah,
can I add something here?
Yeah, go on, mate. Go on, mate.
This is from a culture perspective. This situation that we're dealing with may present itself again in February or March or April. I'm not saying I hope it happens, but this entire situation may happen. Arteta's going to have to, at some point, he's going to have to start looking at Ethan, whether it's in a game like that, those kind of high pressure situations. And I know Kenny was saying earlier about, the Sunderland game bringing on Dowling. But at some point, he's going to have to make that judgment in that gamble. He's done it before with Saka and with Smith Rowe. He's going to have to, at some point, tackle these demons, because until he starts tackling those type demons, where if we don't have the most perfect bench, that I'll just put it that way, that he could go to and go, well, this person needs to come on this person. He's going to have to find a way to put those players on the bench, on the pitch, on the field in the best possible situation. Whether that means changing the formation around, he's going to have to learn how to get tactical. And this is when I talk about, me personally, this is me. When I talk about the manager has to learn how to deal with difficult situations, this is what I'm talking about. Now, I could give two cans of Coca-Cola about what's on the bench, if anybody's injured or whatever, because as far as I'm concerned, this is year 6. Whatever's out there, make it work. Is at this stage, make it work, because we've got to get wins. And if that's all you got to work with, then you need to find a way to make it happen. When Mikel Merino, before we knew he was the second coming to Messi, I'm just being facetious. It might just be being facetious. But before we knew what Mikel Merino was, he had to take a gamble and say, you know what, let's try this and see how this works. He's going to have to start doing that. And it's going to be at the behest of, we're in a tight situation. If these are the only attacking options I got, then this is the only attacking options I got. We're going to have to make it work. And at some point, he's going to have to deal with that. He's going to have to tackle it this season. And we're getting the early snapshot of it. This is why I said, for me personally, this game Sunday, okay, cool. All right, let's see if this is going to be a recurring theme for the next couple of months. If this is a recurring theme, we're going to have a different discussion at the end of this month or going into next. But for right now, it is what it is. So, like I said, we got to draw. Thank God. Normally, under other circumstances, shows a little bit of growth, because we probably would have got a loss this time last year. So the fact that we got out of there with a draw and then blow it is a positive thing. So,
yeah. Do you know what? As well, with the draw, it's kind of frustrating. Not just obviously for the fact that we dropped 2 points. That's absolutely evident. It's the fact that there's no room really for error now in the next few games, is there? Because we've got a massive game, obviously, North London derby. Form can go out the window. You'd expect to beat Spurs, but it's still going to be a bit of a tricky game. They've been quite good away from home, Spurs. That's an absolute must-win now. Now, what I just said, it's a must-win anyway, okay? But there's that added little bit of pressure now, isn't there? That, you kind of have to beat Spurs. And if you wouldn't sort of have that, if you was able to have held on to that Sunderland the victory and come out 2-1, that Tottenham game, it's not that it becomes easier, but you can play a little bit more freer. There will be absolutely no doubt in the minds we have to win that game. We've seen it sort of over the years where under Mikel Arteta, we sort of drop points in clusters, didn't we? And we've seen it over numerous seasons. We'll have a bad result, and it might not happen, and I bloody hope it doesn't. But we'll draw 2-2 with Sunderland, and then we'll draw 2-2 with Spurs, and then we've got a very tricky away game at Chelsea. They could be Barcelona, or they could be Dagenham and Redbridge. No one really knows which Spurs is going to turn up. Chelsea is going to turn up. So I just sort of feel, as well as obviously dropping the 2 points, it's really give us that sort of extra bit of pressure to have to get through these next few tricky games without being able to have that little safety net of a cheeky little draw here or there. it's a bit of a frustrating result in all, really, the Sunderland thing, and especially, like I said, the kick in the teeth, seeing how good City was, man. That was
Yeah,
that was not pretty to
that was
watch.
a kind of
That
a
was
bit
not
annoying
pretty.
afterwards because,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but we've got to be
Arsenal,
realistic, though. Dan, we've got to be realistic about City. Don't get me wrong. We've got to be realistic with City. They got the personnel and they got the names, but they've had 3 what I call tricky away games, and they haven't won them. Brighton's a tricky away game. They dominated the game, and for some reason they didn't. They, instead of trying to go put the foot in the throat, they tried to manage the game. They lost 2-1, and then Aston Villa is another one where the City of old win those games, tricky ones. So the Newcastle game is an interesting one. Can City go and do what the old Man City sides go and do? Because people say, "Oh yeah, but it's Newcastle; they're 14th from the table." But St James's Park's still hard to go at the ground. They're still their crowd's still expecting them to go there and win. So, I'm not saying that City are in the title race or not, but all I'm saying it's a little reminder that we haven't won it yet. I know Egal jokingly said it'd be over by April and all that. And maybe it was overconfidence, maybe it's tongue cheek. But one thing is, my biggest worry is fatigue, because the game's coming thick and fast from the 23rd of November up until the 21st of March. There's no margin for error. That's why I am going after Eze. That's why I'm going all the other understudies or potential first team players, because at the end of the day, he shouldn't have to rely too much on his spine. But nothing wrong with that. I get that. But that realistically, we can't. There's going to be times where Declan Rice can't play every game. Saka can't do it every time. So, Madueke coming in, come on, mate. Put him on a bit of pressure, man. Sorry, Crone Tate, and tactically it won't change. But yeah, it's Sunderland. Let's not forget Sunderland deserves something out of the game, and they played us well, and that we just have to be less complacent and ready that other teams are going to try to do that, and make sure that the basic errors and forced errors that we don't make them again. But as I said before, we're going to drop points. City are going to drop points. It's all about getting into the championship rounds and see what we've got to do. And hopefully, Eze will come to the fore. Goycross will come to the fore. We have to wait and see. But look, just to remind, we're in a title race. It's a Premiership. It's not easy. It's not Farmers League. You know what I mean?
think so much is being made of this City team. Just listening to you guys, people saying no margin for error, can't slip up, this and that. Yeah, City looked good. I don't think they were phenomenal. On another day, that Van Dijk header stands 1-1 as it probably should. It's a different game. The penalty on Doku was soft as well. Yeah, the scoreline 3-0, I think it flatters them a little bit. They deserve to win the game. But Manchester United went to Anfield and won.
We didn't go to Anfield and win.
Hold on one sec. Liverpool are a bit different now. The Liverpool that we played are a different beast to the Liverpool now. They were on an unbeaten streak at the point at the time we played them. Now they're on their knees. If we went to Anfield now and set up how we should set up without Mikel Merino in midfield, I think we get a result. So yeah, Manchester City look good, but like I was saying at the start, this isn't the Manchester City of old. This isn't the treble-winning City. It's not Centurion City. They got some good
City. Sorry to cut you in, Christian, but you always talk about the Man City sides of 22-23 and 23-24, and that it was we were unlucky or unbeatable. No, the Man City sides of 28 and 2019, that's the team that we should have feared. In 22-23, yes, they got Haaland. Yes, they had to, get to that level where they had to really, really show their experience. But those Man City teams, I insist, you don't have to agree with me, because that's what we like, a debate, an argument, and a tussle, which I love. That's why I love coming here. But I do not agree with you when you say that those are elite Man City sides. They're not. That Man City side in 28, 100 points in 2018, 98 points in 2019. I say it, I want to say it again. Obviously, we're going back for our grand, but they're not. This Man City side isn't as elite as those sides. Those Man City sides you refer to,
That's my point.
they're not elite sides. They're not elite sides.
Of course they are. What,
They're not elite
Centurions
sides.
weren't elite?
No, I'm talking
People
about the
winning
22-23 side. I'm talking about the 22-23 side and the 23-24 side. They're not a patch
They
on the
won the treble.
2018. Yeah, they won a treble. But all right, Sir Alex Ferguson won in '99. They won a treble. But Sir Alex Ferguson insists that the '94 team was his best ever side. That Man City side were not great sides. They won the big moments. But that 2018, 2019 side will piss all over the 22-23 Man City sides. I insist, 100%.
Christian, you know what it is.
I don't really get your point, Kenny. Sorry, man.
I think.
No, what I'm trying to say is that you were talking about how unlucky we were in 2024.
I never used the word unlucky. I said we weren't good enough because we were up against a team that was better.
You're right.
Good. I came up against a team that got 2 more points.
Well, we gave him that league, Christian. We gave it to him on a play.
Disagree.
I think
we gave it to him on a play. Aston Villa at home, we gave him on a play.
The second half of the season, we won every single game apart from Aston Villa,
and there was no margin for error. And by losing at home to Villa, we gave it to him on a play. That's the fact.
Yeah, we weren't good enough to be more consistent. We're a better team now. That team that got 89 points in the league, right? That we went on that mad run towards the end of the season, won every single game apart from Villa, drew at the Etihad. We're a better team now than we were then. We've got a deeper squad, a stronger squad now.
And I think what
this 24 team's better than this. This 24 team's better than this team we've got now.
Yeah, I think what Kenny means, is that team that we weren't able to go up against wasn't the best City that we've seen. I think that's what you're trying to say, Kenny, right?
It's probably
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Treble winners and Centurions. It's like that. If you are City fans, it's close.
Can I just say, talking of injuries, though, I mean, one thing we can't forget. I mean, on talking about players coming back, and that City have got players coming back as well. You know, they've got Kovacic coming back, which is massive for them, and they've got Rodri as well. So, I mean, well, you're shaking your head, Christian, but Kovacic is a proven winner. He's been there and done it.
Start for them when everyone's fit. You literally made the point when D was listing the players.
No, but what I'm saying is
now you're saying a player that doesn't start for City.
No. I never said he can start. I said he's coming back. Squad depth.
Yeah, so when D makes the point about our squad depth, why do you then go? But who starts?
No. We're talking about City. We're talking about City. We're talking about.
You see what I'm saying, right? Because when D did name the players that coming back,
you just said that you wasn't impressed with City. You're not that impressed with City. And all I'm saying is City also have players coming back. Like we've got players coming back, which gives our depth more, which gives us more options off the bench. City are going to have more options off the bench. Listen, whether we can sit here and talk about, you know, City ain't this and Liverpool are this and this one's this, and the bottom line is that City have players that have been there and done it at the tail end of the season. They've also got a manager that's elite and that's done it and won things, right? We have got to overcome that. So it's a mentality thing as well as on the pitch as well. We've got to overcome that. These players like the Zubamendis that have never played in the Premiership, Eze's that's never been at a massive club, right? No disrespects to Palace. He's never been at a massive club. Gyökeres hasn't really had a massive innings in the Premiership. This is all new to them. City have got a squad that's a large majority of their squad. It's not new to them. They've been there and done it.
Right, can I just make one point?
I'm not saying that they're better than us.
One point on what you're saying,
we haven't got a chance. I'm not saying that we haven't got a chance. All I'm saying is this is what we've got to overcome. This is why we seem to be under more pressure than a lot of the teams, because the manager has got to win silverware. We've got a squad with a lot of new players. We've also got a squad that hasn't got over the line. So it's added pressure. So when this nitty-gritty gets on in the season, right, you can't keep looking at through tunnel vision and saying, oh, City are this and City ain't as good as that and we're this and we're that. You have to open it all up. There's a lot of work to be done. And it proved that on Saturday. There's still a lot of problems in this Arsenal team that we had from previous seasons that we saw Saturday. And we can't afford to keep making the same mistakes if we want to win premierships.
Can I ask you a question then, and maybe to everyone on the panel? That 23-24 team that got 89 points. Are we better now or not?
We'll have to
I
wait
think
and
that's-
see. We'll have to wait
I've-
and see. I can't tell you it. I'm gonna let me. Sorry, Kenny. At this point, I'd like to think so, but at this present moment, I can't give you that answer. I don't know if we're going to get 89 points.
Okay.
Key players need to step up. You've got to remember, we've had a lot of players out injured for a long while. So when they come back, they've got to hit the ground running straight away. It's going to take time. Havertz has been out ages. Jesus has been gone for it, seems forever. Odegaard's been out. So all of these players are coming back in a crucial part of the season. They're coming back from injury in peak season, December, all the Christmas pressure, and January. They're coming in the real crux of the season. So I can't give you an answer on that.
Can I just give you a point then on where I like to be confident, right? I like to support my team, stick my chest out.
I like to be confident, but there's being confident and there's being overconfident and disrespecting everything else.
I've never said it's done. I've never said City is shit. I've never said this or that. I've said City will be up there. I've said we can't take our foot off the gas. I think they've got elite players and an elite manager, of course. But I look at this Arsenal team, and if you compare it to that 23-24 team that got 89 points, right? The goalkeeper is better. The right back is better. Timber is better than Ben White ever was.
Yeah.
Saliba and Gabriel are a few years more experienced and better now, I think. Calafiori is better than Zinchenko was.
Yeah, right? I'll give you that. Yeah.
Declan Rice is an improved player.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Partey and Zubimendi, fair enough, you can compare. I really like Zubimendi, but Partey was a top quality player. Maybe that's the only place. Attacking midfield, Odegaard was the best version of Odegaard then. So maybe there's a argument there, but we've got depth for it now. Odegaard was forced to play pretty much every game then. If Odegaard's not performing now, Eze can come in. Saka, right, he's had injuries since, but I think, again, more experience, older player, wiser head. We've now got a number 9 that people like and rate and can score goals in Gyökeres. And we've got Martinelli and Trossard that we had in that year. So for me...
That's up for debate.
Fair enough. But for me, this team is now stronger. That team was very strong. And
if they all stay fit,
I never use the word unlucky because we weren't good enough. We were so good on another year.
I agree. Listen, I can't disagree on the Timber thing. I can't disagree that Calafiori's a step up from Zinchenko. I can't disagree that Gabriel and Saliba obviously are there and yeah, massive. But the problem is the squad depth that everyone's been blazing about are the players that you've just put ahead of them. So if Timber gets injured, Ben White's right back.
But I'm all right. Well, I'm fine with that.
Do you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, if there's a lot of this is what I'm trying to say. It's a big season, and it's all right if you get your first 11 on the pitch and everyone's playing well. That's great. But then you have got Ben White to come in over Timber.
I'm not worried if Ben White comes.
But what I'm trying to say is, you said we've got Timber who's a step up on Ben White. Well, Ben White's going to might have to play a very important part in this team.
Yeah, and it was good enough to play a big part in that team.
This is what I'm trying to say. Yes, we are a better squad when everyone's fit and everyone's playing. But at the end of the day, you're only 2 or 3 injuries away, and then you've pretty much got.
So is everyone, DJ. So is everyone. You can make the same case about Liverpool. You can make the same case about
exactly. But the difference being City have been there and done it.
Any team in the world.
But City have been there and done it, and they've got players coming back from injuries like we have that have also been there and done it. So you have to keep open-minded about it. You're asking me if we're going to make 89 points. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I can't give you that answer at the moment.
You know what, boys?
I'm asking you if the squad is better now, and I personally think it is.
I accept both of your points, yeah. Like I can see where both of you are coming from, but essentially, what DJB just said, it all boils down to been there, seen it, done it. You know what I mean? And essentially, we haven't done that yet, and it's frustrating that it all boils down to that, but it just does. That's the biggest worry for us Arsenal fans. We just haven't got over the line. I'd feel a lot better in this whole predicament if, say, 2 seasons ago, the season you're referencing, Christian, 2 seasons ago, was it? 23-24. Yeah. If we'd have won the league that year, I'd be feeling a lot better about the league this year, because I'd be sitting there and thinking, do you know what? Mikel Arteta's been there, done it. He's got us over the line. I'll be going, now I'm going to be a little bit more comfortable. But because he hasn't done that yet, that's where we're coming from. Or where I'm coming from, I should more sort of say,
I get
We've
that.
got to
I
get
don't
The
that
Premier
over
League
the
at the
line
moment,
first.
11 games in, we are. If we
Yeah.
continue doing what we're doing now, guess how many points we end up on? 89. So I think it's
could be
mad.
rough,
That
but you know what?
89 is crazy. Maybe it's just because it's 89 and it's Arsenal.
Might be 85 that wins the
I'd
league. Might be
disagree with
87.
Exactly. It might be less.
You know
It
what?
might be.
Before the season started, just based off of just the way how tight everything was and the competitiveness, I said it probably maybe in the 70s this year. And then looking at the table as it's constructed right now, where everybody's kind of like right within touching distance of everybody. I don't see anybody completely just like running away with the league this year.
No, I
75
think
points
all
won
teams
the league last
competitive.
year. Arsenal came
Yeah, but
second with 74. If Liverpool, you could have got 75 and won it last season.
Liverpool took their eight, but Liverpool went on their holes, didn't it? After they won it against
Yeah,
Tottenham.
they got 84.
That
They probably could have got 90 if they needed to.
That 23-24 team is Mikel Arteta's best ever team for me, and I don't think this side is better yet. But I'm there to be proved wrong because from the Crystal Palace game in January, that team had no weaknesses whatsoever. Everything was ready for success. Yes, Man City had Haaland, but it was in our hands. Don't get me wrong. Before the Liverpool game, they were 5 points ahead. We beat them, and then they were 2 points ahead, and then they had that draw at Anfield between them and City, and it was us on top in goal difference ahead of Liverpool, but City were 2 points ahead. Even going into that game against Man City, hindsight is 2020. Should we have been more positive? But at that time, 31st of Easter Sunday when we played them, I believe, 31st of March, we were still the favourites. That team for me, you think about it, Saka was playing his best football I've ever seen him play. He hasn't reached those heights since then. Odegaard, your man, playing his best football. He hasn't reached those heights since then. Raya, who replaced Ramsdale, thank God, was levels above that. Ben White, still a bit scratchy. Never been a Ben White fan. Left back, I hear your point, a bit scratchy, but Declan Rice and Partey together. Ooh, that was a team.
Yeah.
This team is unproven. But my biggest worry is that team played the best football under Arteta, but didn't win. But what I will say and I do agree on your point, everything's right for success. We spent the money, we've got the support behind the scenes. This team has to win the league because of the fact that I haven't seen a team like that not going to win it. But all I'm saying about the Sunderland game, it's not a reality check because that probably is a bit hard, but it's a reminder that every game's competitive. You know, I don't think the players are complacent as such, but maybe previous results where teams haven't had the nuts to come and, give us a game that we thought were an easy streak. So the little errors we may have been making against Fulham, they didn't have the balls to try and get the numbers forward because they worried about what's coming back. Sunderland made us defend. They forced us into errors because for the first time in a while, Saliba and Gabriel had to defend. They had a striker who ran them close. Our fullbacks had players who ran them close. We got overloaded time and time again, especially when they were going for that goal. That's the first time that's happened to us in a while. And it's just saying, a little reminder, complacency kills. But it's also a reminder that as much as I love our squad, come on, step up, mate. You can't just rely on our spine all the time because that's, as you say, you're Declan Rice, or all of you, because all of you are Declan Rice fans. I'm a fan, but I want more. I want more. I don't agree with you, DJ B, about Declan Rice. So D, where are you, mate? I need you. But anyway,
me and Kenny disagree about Declan Rice. I think he's phenomenal.
What I'm trying to say,
What
what we'll say is that this squad that everyone's talking about, and it's not trying to score poor scoring. All I'm saying, they need to step up because right now, tactically, there's a chasm between our spine and them. Our manager still doesn't trust some of our bench as much tactically. You saw that against Sunderland. There wasn't a tactical trust in Ethan. There wasn't a tactical trust in Dowman. He was worried, and about
We
what was
needed
coming.
legs on, didn't we, Ken? We needed legs on in
Yeah,
that midfield.
yeah,
We
but
desperately
you
needed
can have legs. You can have legs.
He had Norgard on the bench as well, though.
Yeah, but even so, you can have legs.
Premier League
At the end of the day, just because you've got legs and you've got personnel, and just because they're attacking players, it's about what's coming right. If those players don't do their jobs defensively, and Sunderland get waves of attack, our defence is under pressure. It wasn't just like the waves of attack and the short passes; it was the long throws as well. We were defending virtually our goal line. And when you got six defenders and 6 attackers, if one person, I'm sorry, Dan, because I know I don't. If one person f's up, that means that puts pressure on our defense. Look at the second goal, 1 f up.
Yeah.
That enabled. What's it? Robbery. Was it? Was it Brobby or something?
Robbie.
That enabled Brobby to get the space to get in front of our defenders to get the equaliser. But guess what? Because of someone's lost his man, Gabriel and Raya are now looking for a referee to get him out of trouble by trying. Gabriel put his head down, trying to get a free kick. Then Raya thinking, "Oh, don't hurt me." But
hey Dan, pull my screen up.
That's under pressure. They put us under pressure. See that thing? Look at that.
What is this?
When Fulham were goal down, we didn't see that against Fulham. Those guys were having a flag and letting a flag because Fulham were trying to incroach. But when you got when you got bodies
and it's the first team that have really attacked us, though. That's
not the second goal. That isn't the second goal.
That's a phase of play in the second half where this is what we were dealing with during the game.
Do you expect not to be in a defensive shape any time in the game against? That's a great defensive shape, 4 and a 2. I don't understand the point.
But at the end of the day, they're on the hills. They're on the hills, so they're not seeing everything about them. They're on the hills.
They're seeing everything. Of course they are. No one's behind Calafiori. Gabriel and Saliba have their men in front of them.
Oh, what about that guy up there? What about that guy there?
Yeah, there's one man over, but what? You got to ping a perfect diagonal ball to hit him.
No, but
Timber will want that all day long. He'll back himself to win a header for a diagonal crossfield pass like that.
Yeah, but we don't normally see that in some of the games. And what I'm trying to say is getting bodies forward. That's what created the pressure. There's nothing wrong with that. But if it's under pressure and if one of those guys lose their jewels, that's what led to the goal. That's what I'm saying. The shape's nothing wrong with the shape. It's that they force. I'm not criticising us about the shape. I'm praising Sunderland because they got bodies forward and they forced these errors because of their pressure. It's not a dig at Arsenal. It's not a dig at Arsenal at all. It's praise for Sunderland. Okay. And just a reminder that every game's competitive.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
Do you think
I'll give credit to Sunderland. I think they. I don't know about. The point, but you could argue they deserved the point. I thought we were good enough in the second half to get all 3.
I thought they deserved it.
We made one mistake. The mistake was Zubimendi being where he was. He's in the back line. If you pulled up the screenshot of their actual goal, the second goal, the hopeful ball they put into the box, which is a diagonal ball, Zubimendi is the one there trying to defend it. It should never have been him. He should have been out on the edge of the box. Should have been Gabriel Saliba marking the ball in. But they overloaded.
For their first goal, Zubimendi was in La La Land. For Dan Ballard's goal, Zubimendi was in La La Land at the edge of the box.
Oh yeah, everyone was. Declan Rice missed the header, let it bounce. Gabriel was nowhere.
Facts. It was very poor. Do you know? It's a testament to obviously the Premier League anyway. What I'm about to say is when someone wants it more than you, and I believe in that first 45 minutes, Sunderland won it more than Arsenal Football Club. You're going to run into some serious problems. No matter what Premier League team you face, you're going to run into problems. And I thought Sunderland wanted it a bit more than us. Well, I don't think we turned up with the best attitude. I'm not going to say not the right attitude, but I don't think we turned up with the best attitude we could have. And Sunderland turned up with the right attitude. And do you know what? Half-time, 1-0, I thought that was an absolute fair result at half-time. 100% they deserved their lead. Did we come out in the second half? Yeah, we did come out with a bit of intent. I don't think we were unbelievable, but we came out as if to say, right, let's put that first half behind us. Let's go again. We got all the way up to the second goal, and for me personally, as I said earlier, a bit of a poor tactical substitution, and it costs us. But you can't sort of you can't take things for granted in this league. You know what I mean? And hopefully that's just a nice timely reminder without it being a loss. It keeps this little unbeaten run, whatever you want to call it, going. Hopefully, it's a nice timely reminder that when we play Spurs, we've got to be bang up for it. We can't be careless, in certain scenarios. We have to be on it every single game. It's a marathon, 38 games. You can't afford many slip ups or poor performances.
You also have to think about, we have to start looking, because we're where we are in the Carabao Cup. And I would like to say that we're probably going to move forward. I'm just, I would like to think that we're going to go pretty decent in this year. These are the type of situations that we saw this weekend that will present themselves, because there's going to be adversity, whether it's the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, latter stages. And we've got to rectify these problems before we run into them again. I would like to say that we've learned a little bit over the last few years just by looking at just some of the games this year. But when I looked at that game Sunday, I just felt Saturday, I felt like I was seeing things that we've seen before. Like they're popping back up. So like I said earlier, this should not be a recurring thing this entire season. We should not have to see that kind of, calamity there. The thing about with me is the last few minutes of the game. Because we were almost out of there. Just like Kenny said, we were almost out of there. We're going to be having a different discussion today. But we've got to get that mentality. That when you talk about mentality, that's what's going to separate. With all those titles that City's won, those old United teams back in the day, fellas, all us on the panel, those old United teams, when they looked like they were down and out, what did they do? They found a way to win and get out of there.
That's the only question mark for me now, lads, this season. I've only got one. Have we got the mentality to get across the line? And this manager and team show everyone that they can win. That is the only thing. I don't care about the squad and the big this, that's strong enough now. I don't care about what Berta and Kroenke is strong enough now. That is my only question mark. That's it.
Yeah, but the opportunity is there, because at the end of the day, the fact is that all we've learned from this weekend is what we already know. It's a cricketing term. Obviously, you know how much I like cricket, but they use that term in cricket. Foot on the throat, don't let go. Chokehold, or if you want to talk about your wrestling and your sleep, you get them in a sleeper hold, they tap out, and that's what I'm trying to say. Is because you never know in this league. You never know. We could win it at canter, but to win it at canter or to win it in a straight, no margin for error. And that's the thing with our league. That's why people say the Premier League is the most exciting, is because a lot of competitive games. Brighton at home and away, that's competitive. Just a little reminder that there's some team, not every team's Burnley. You know what I mean?
Can I just come in though, Kenny? When you said about the spine and that he only trusts the spine.
Yes.
My biggest worry is that if he's going to constantly play, I don't know, the five, if you like, and he doesn't rest them or get when he's got the opportunity. I'll give you an example. Against Prague, he left Declan Rice on for 84 minutes. The game was won. He could have bought him off earlier and rested him, knowing that he's got a Premiership tough game at Sunderland that haven't been beaten at home. My biggest worry is he's got to manage. He has got to trust this squad. The squad's been built up. Now he's got to trust it. And what I'm saying is, if he's going to play players constantly, week in, week out, with all these fixtures coming up, my biggest worry is his fatigue that was showing on Saturday. And this is, and Matty touched on it earlier, he's got to start trusting his bench. He has got to trust like the Dowmans, Wanyeris and people like this. That's where I think I'm a little bit worried that he's going to.
Wanyeri worries me.
He's going to stick to the same players no matter what.
But DJB, those players sometimes you stick with those players, not because they're playing well, because they're in form. They're banging.
I understand that. But what I'm trying to say is when you've got the opportunity to bring them off,
they've done it for you in big games. So sometimes you've got to stick with them.
Rotate them.
Obviously, when they're running empty, that's why I've always been an advocate, and that's why I'm on Eze's back. I said, "Come on, mate. Come on. There's a spot here for you, mate. You're Chris. There's a spot here for you. All these new players. It's one of the things where nothing's forever. No, there's no such thing in football as your definite starters. Every place is up for debate. There's only one player that is undroppable in our team. It's Bukayo Saka, and maybe Declan. I'll give you that.
Yeah. And he looks
But
tired.
everyone- everyone-
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they both
all
look
players
really tired though. Saka and Rice look really
And
tired.
they'll play every minute
Yeah.
for
And they'll
England.
play
That's
every
it.
single
Let me
minute.
bring these- Let me bring these super
before.
chats up. Otherwise, we're never going to get
Yeah.
through them. Big up to all of you guys for super chatting. Cliff says, "Leave it out. Eze's mustard. Erdegaard would have done sod all. He always disappears in physical games. The system needs to be developed to utilise Eza and Victor Gyökeres properly. Fair play to Sunderland." Big up to you, Cliff. Hope you're well, mate. Thank you very much for the super chat. This one's also come in from Agent 47. He says, "Clean sheet or draw / loss is concerning." Kenny, I still crack up from your "my sister's the prettiest" quote. What's he talking about there, Kenny? What's going on?
No, basically, I was basically trying to widen up your gown. I was trying to say the way he talks about Arsenal is though,
Oh, right.
you know, basically we're the best, we're that, and you know what they say, you know.
Well, it like a
everyone's got
Wenger
the
quote.
prettiest wife.
Like a British wife.
Everyone's
at
got
home.
the prettiest
Wenger,
wife.
isn't it?
Everyone's got the hardest brother. You know, oh, my brother's hard. Oh yeah, my brother's been in prison. That makes him hard. You know that. It's just silly talk. It's
Okay.
silliness. It's one of my sayings.
That's fair. Garrett says, "Fact is, Jesus, Havertz, Erdegaard, Gyökeres, Madueke, and Martinelli could have given Sunderland questions to answer. That bench was our weakest of the season. It was, and because we've got those players out, I think sometimes you forget how many players we've actually got out. To be fair, and they're all coming back, hopefully, for the North London derby." Going for life, Wayne says, "City won 17 and drew 1. How is that not elite?" I don't think we were meaning this season. I think we were meaning the season they did. Sorry, I don't think we mean that season. We're meaning this season. I believe.
I
Also,
think he's talking about 23-24, and I still think any team that gets 100 points and gets 98 the season before, there are decks to follow. That doesn't mean that they're a crap team because they went and won the league anyway. But I just think that they're from the way I like my football being played, they are, and I hate City. I hate every club except for Arsenal. But if I was a neutral and I wasn't an Arsenal fan, those two teams would be my favourite teams because I don't think that those teams in 23 and 24 are as good as those teams. It's just personal preference. Doesn't mean I'm right.
No, I agree with you. I think City and Centurions and that were better, but we were 1 up in stoppage time. What do you expect? Yeah, a lot of people are saying 1-0 up and Arteta went negative, but to be fair, sorry, 2-1 up, I should say. But to be fair, I'll give my reasons on that. Sophie also answers a really good question, which is, do you think Arteta will prioritise one over another again or go for all? I wanted to ask this last question before we close. Christian, I'll start with you. We've got Spurs, we've got Chelsea, and we've got Bayern Munich. We're going to get them players back. We're going to need to rotate. How do we rotate in these 3 games? Do we pick one to rotate in? Do we look to go for the Champions League to rotate in? Or do you think that we need to try to prioritise that one still? How is he going to play these next 3 games when we come back from international break?
I think you need to go strongest 11 in all 3.
Okay.
I don't think you can really afford to rotate at all. Maybe you could rotate the left winger if Martinelli's fit. Maybe he can start the Champions League game against Bayern. But apart from that, I don't think there's really any way you can rotate. I don't know who's going to be fit. If Odegaard's fully fit come Bayern, he probably comes in. Maybe Eze starts against Spurs, Odegaard starts against Bayern. I don't know who's going to be fit, but those are 3 massive games. I don't think he'll be thinking I need to rotate and change it up too much. You know, the players, they should be expected to be able to play every 3 days. So, yeah, 3 games in 9 days? 8 days? However much it is.
Yeah.
I don't think you can afford to rotate. We can't afford to lose. You could probably afford to draw against Bayern. I don't think it'd be the worst result considering we've won 4 out of 4 already. But Chelsea and Spurs, we have to take 6 points out of those 2. Should I
6
say
points? You should 6 points, nothing more,
right? Spurs has
6.
to be 3, no debate. Depending how the game goes against Chelsea, a draw wouldn't be the end of the world.
6, man. 6.
Hey, Christian,
6.
you're gonna need those 6 because we got Aston Villa twice in December.
Yeah, I'm not scared of Villa, man.
I think with them 3 games that you mentioned, and if you had a gun to my head and said you've got to rest some players in one of them, it would be Bayern Munich. Now I'm not saying for wholesale changes. Don't misquote me on that. But I mean, if you said, right, Aaron, what would you prioritise more? I would choose to maybe rest maybe a Saka, depending on who's back, and it sets the squad in the time, bloody blah. But definitely like a Rice. Maybe we could afford 2 or maximum 3 subs against them because, granted, yeah, we're not done in the Champions League, but we've got a nice, healthy 12 points out of 12. We've got 2 of what I would perceive as to be winnable games to get us through out of that league sort of table standing. However, as we've all sort of said or alluded to, Spurs game and the Chelsea game, I believe personally for me, far outweigh the severity of the Bayern Munich game. So, I would sort of look to be sort of, if you had to make some form of rotation there, whatever that looks like, I don't know. It wouldn't be heavy rotation, but, if Arsenal was to draw or lose to Spurs, it's not that it's looking horrendous. The season isn't done in the Premier League, but you're sitting there and thinking, wow, if City beat, they would have played as well, Newcastle, at that stage, by the way. Newcastle was to have lost to Manchester City winning, you don't get that win against Tottenham. It's all of a sudden, wow, there's 2 points here, 1 point here. This is very important games, absolutely. The games that sandwich that Bayern game far more important to Arsenal season for me.
I think it will be the Bayern one
now.
Yeah.
If you said to me now, beat Spurs, beat Bayern, draw to Chelsea, or beat Spurs, lose to Bayern, beat Chelsea, I'll take that second one. I'll take the 2 Premier League games.
Essentially where I'm going with my thing. Yeah.
The only reason I think the Bayern Munich game's a bit bigger is because everyone's talking about, some of the most informed teams in Europe. Bayern Munich have won every single game up until the other day. I think they drew away against Union Berlin, scored a last-minute equaliser. So, there's going to be a lot of eyes on it because it is like, people are putting us up there with Bayern and PSG for teams that are potentially favourites to win the Champions League.
I just want to be, I don't know this answer.
Yeah.
Are we ready to win the Champions League this season?
I don't know, Kenny. Honestly, I hope we are. I hope we are. We've never won it, man. I
want the league more than the Champions League.
Champions League, Kenny, come on.
I want the league more because I love the Champions League, but I think after what we've gone through, in what we went through in 22-23 and 23-24, and we don't win the league this season, which I believe is a team that's more than capable of winning the league and has got all the personnel and all the squad, I'll be absolutely devastated if we don't win the league this season.
I agree. I would take the league over the Champions League. I don't know if we're ready, but I think we're good enough. I think this team on its day can beat anyone. I really do. We lost out to PSG last season, who were, people say they're the best team in Europe, although they lost away to Villa in the second leg of a quarter-final. So, the best team in Europe can still lose to a team like Aston Villa, right? We lost that. We lost to PSG.
All right, but you say Aston Villa, but Aston Villa are a good team on their day, aren't they?
Cool. All right, yeah, but if I was to make a quote saying we're the best team in Europe, and then people are like, oh, but you drew to Sunderland, cool, but PSG lost to Villa. Do you know what I mean? PSG.
You're not going to change your mind just because someone tries to pull you up with it, will you? You're not going to change your mind. You don't change your mind when we have discussions with you, do you? So if someone pulls you up about you praising Arsenal, it ain't going to bother you, will it?
No, well, it doesn't really bother me, but like, I made a statement. I'm sticking to it. I'm an Arsenal fan. If your opinion is that we're the 20th best team in Europe, and I'm saying first, then you can call me crazy. If you're saying we're in the top 3 and then calling me crazy for putting Arsenal at 1, I don't really understand. It's not that far off, is it? Bloody hell. I just know that this team is good enough. I think the squad is deep enough now. We got to a semi-final last season. We were decimated with injuries. We had Mikel Merino up front in the semi-final. So I think this team is better now, hopefully to go one step further. Will they? No one knows. We'll see.
To be fair, Christian, I've got to have a pushback on that a little bit because I actually reckon the step between first and second and third is actually quite massive. And we've seen that over the last 3 years. There are levels. There's the level to get into that top 4, to get into competitiveness, what everyone seems to like. And then there's getting to first. Going from second to first is a massive step, bro.
Well, we're first at the moment.
Massive step.
I think most of us here would say the Premier League is the best league in the world, most competitive, hardest to win. We're top right now. So I don't think it's crazy to stick your chest out and back your team at all.
No, oh yeah, and I'm not saying that you're crazy for that. Do you know what I mean? Like at all whatsoever. But I'm just more sort of commenting on the fact that there are levels between second and first, man. Definitely. There's
Well, let's
a
hope
massive,
we get
massive
there
step
this year,
to take.
man. Let's hope we get to
Yeah.
first. There
But
has
fingers
been a
crossed.
little bit of breaking news. I don't know if it's really that exciting, but we might as well share it as soon as it's broken since we've been, well, not long since we've been going live. Sammy Mockbell has stated that Arsenal are advanced talks over appointing the Napoli head of scouting, Maurizio Micheli. I don't know if I've said his name right. He's going to be into a leading recruitment role. He was credited with unearthing the likes of Marek Hamsik, Kim Min-jae, and of course
All
Kvaratskhelia.
good players. All good
Oh,
players.
Very good players.
Ultimate team legend, Marek Hamsik.
Berto strikes again.
Oh, he's a geezer, yeah. Hamsik.
Berto strikes again.
So, yeah,
We'll see. But
Good
getting back
news,
to your question, I would probably, if I was going to rest players, would be the Bayern game, because I think the games coming up in the Champions League are winnable.
DJB, you said to chat you want the Champions League more than the league. If you're resting for Bayern.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
No, I'm with DJB on this, Ken.
Yeah, I am.
If he's going to make changes, if he's going to make changes, Bayern Munich game, because we've got 12 points in the bank. We're away to Bruges. We've got Carrier out as well at home. So we should have enough, really, if we come out with a point.
Not playing against us at the Emirates.
If we come out against a point against Bayern, then it should be.
Let's
strong.
remember as well, DJ.
However,
let's remember as well. We got Chelsea and Tottenham. We've got Bayern. Chelsea have got Barca, and Tottenham have got PSG. So
yeah,
it's
exactly.
very.
But no, but look, at the end of the day, you want to go in and win every game. You want to play your strongest team, but this squad should be good enough, no matter who we put out, to get a result. This is what I'm saying. You know, we've got a good enough squad now that if we do rotate players, it should be good enough to step up and
Marino
get the result we need. However, Champions League is the one. That's the one we got to win.
Yeah, because you missed it. You haven't seen it. That's why. You haven't seen it.
And I'll tell you what.
It doesn't mean we're the best. If we win the league, we're the best. No one's going to take that away from us.
Sorry, Kenny. I'm sorry, Kenny. We have seen trophies of all sorts, but we've never seen. When you've got Nottingham Forest fans saying champions of Europe, you'll never see.
I hear you.
And Villa fans, I'm sorry, mate.
It's the only one we have. Hear me out. After what you went through in 22-23 and 23-24, Christian, about you're in your 89 points. Come on, you try and tell me that you don't want the league more than
Kenny, I agree.
I said the league, Kenny. I'll take the league.
Listen, Champions League, mate. We've seen premierships, we've seen titles. We've never seen.
Some people were born when we won a premiership last in 2004.
You'll be saying Saka's world class next, Kenny. Come on.
Ken, do you know what? We've gone through this as well. I absolutely 100% agree with you. If you're English Premier League champions over 38 games, you are the better team probably than the team that wins the Champions League. I agree with you on that point. I will never ever argue with that. But I want that bloody Champions League, man. We ain't done it. I want it. Yeah. We need to get that in the locker, man. We've got to get it.
When they won it. Or 2021. Well, Chelsea, when they won the Champions League, the best teams in Europe when they won it.
Listen, you can't sit at the top table unless you win that Champions League. Aston Villa are there, Forest are there, Chelsea are there, City are there.
We want our star.
We win both, man.
We want our star, mate.
Win both.
Just concentrate the Champions League like normal.
And not only that, Kenny, our record for a big club is dreadful in Europe.
Yeah,
can't we just concentrate on the league, please, and then do the Champions League?
Arsenal, our record in Europe is atrocious.
We are the biggest club to never win it. I think it was us and PSG, and then I'll see. Last year. Now it's just us.
Atletico. I think they're one of the.
I'll see all of you in Budapest then.
Yeah, buy me a Ribena.
Would you rather win? Would you rather win the Premier League back to back or the Champions League back to back? That's a good question.
I'll tell you what, I'd like if there's two cups I'd like to win is obviously the Champions League and the Premiership double, but let's not be greedy. I'll take the Carabao.
You can't have both. You can only have a back-to-back Prem or a back-to-back champs. What
I'd
one
like
you
the
go?
champs just so it
Back-to-back
shuts
champs.
Chelsea up being the most successful European for the
Yeah.
Champions League because they've got 2. I'd have to nick it. I'm
It's
sorry,
annoying, man. You
because
can't
we'd be
keep
level on
having
them
that
in
Europe.
Europe, and then we're
You
ahead of them
can't.
on
The thing-
titles in the league. I'd have to do that.
You can't have a club like Arsenal not winning the Champions League year in, year out.
I
It's just
agree.
ridiculous.
I agree.
What about
I-
back to
I'll
back?
take the 2 stars, man. I'll take the 2
The-
stars.
You're like not the Forest. Back to back Champions League. Like
Yeah,
Nottingham Forest.
exactly.
Much as I want us to win the Champions League, I don't think it's happening this year. So for me, I want this Carabao Cup and the league title. I want
Yeah.
a cup double. Domestic.
You've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
saying that. You've been saying that all season, Matty. You've been saying that all season, mate.
I've been saying also
All season. Oh, yeah. All summer.
I'll take the
Yeah.
Carabao Cup first, though, because that will give us the confidence to perhaps win
Yeah.
another trophy.
But see, JB, that's why I keep trying to tell people. I'm
That's
like,
massive.
I keep telling people
Yeah.
we need to be locked in on this Carabao Cup. We
Yeah,
have to win this
100%.
because then that will give them the belief that we
Yeah.
can push forward. Because if you go back and look at the teams that's won the Carabao Cup over the last couple of years, every time they win it, they usually go win another trophy with it. They normally go win a trophy, another trophy with it.
It's not that,
Oscar
though,
Marino
mate.
and Pep, innit?
We've all been there, haven't we? We've all played, whether it's competitive at school or whether it don't matter what you do, right? When you keep sort of getting so close and then it doesn't happen, it's like, it's that kind of like. So you imagine the players, like, if they weren't to win that Carabao Cup or they weren't, it's like, oh, here we go again. And it could affect them later on in the season. So get the Carabao Cup under your belt, get that done, get them winning together, and then hopefully it will spur
You
them
know
on
what?
to titles.
You know what else it does? It also they have a reference point. So and I'm speaking a hypothetical. Let's say we get to the knockout stages of the Champions League, and we've won. Let's say we've won the Carabao Cup. They'll say, "Hey, man, we've been in the semifinal. We know what they expect. You know, if it's familiar to them, and if it's familiar, it makes it easy for them to get over the line. You know?
We're gonna have to go full strength, in my opinion. You know,
Yeah, we are.
we played Palace in that quarterfinal at home. You can't afford to play the same team we played against Brighton. We were lucky in that first half against Brighton not to be 1 or 2-0 down.
Because they'll
Agreed.
be
Agreed.
a different team, wouldn't they, Christian? Palace will be a different team in that quarter final.
100%. They'll be aiming to win that. They'll go as strong as they can.
There's no reason not to go full string. This is year 6. I keep reminding everybody, this is year 6. We've spent $1 billion on this team. We should be taking every cup competition serious. Every cup competition, FA Cup too, because that's been about 5 or 6 years now. So we need to win that. Something needs to be a trophy, something that shines, need to be won this year.
I think
The
the
only
FA
thing
hate
is,
us.
I agree with you. I just think it's going to be sandwiched between 2 Premier League games again, isn't it? I think they just moved the Everton game to the Saturday.
Yeah.
So again, it's going to be the same situation we've got when we come back from the international break of the Spurs, Bayern, Chelsea. It's going to be, I don't know who it is, then Palace, then
Carabao
Everton.
Cup. It's Everton away on the 20th. Then the Carabao Cup's Tuesday the 23rd, and then it's Brighton Saturday 27th.
Realistically, I think we've got to the fixture list going into like the end of the season, 21st of March, it's probably going to prevent us from a quest for the quadruple. And and I'm not being negative. I just have concerns that we just won't physically be able to do it. So we might have to settle for the league championship, which is not going to
just a treble, Ken.
Anyway.
They'll be laughing at you.
See, Kenny, we don't agree on everything. You want the Premiership, I want the Champions League, but I want both.
I want it all.
We all want it all, but
we're starving.
Recently,
We're hungry.
Too many competitive games where teams are going to go at us. It's squad, isn't it? It's about players who can step up and step to the plate.
It's a lot of things, though, isn't it? It's a lot of things. It's whether all your players can stay fit. It's whether certain players have to step up, and it's whether the manager rotates the squad with all these fixtures coming up. It's just getting it right, isn't it? But I do think this team deserves. This team is probably good enough to win something. What they win, I don't know. Yeah. But they're good enough to win something.
Yeah,
exactly what I was going to say. It'll be a disaster.
Tragedy. It'll be a tragedy.
Absolute disaster
100%.
if we go trophyless this season.
Is he out if he does, Christian?
And unfortunately, the fall guy will probably be the manager if we don't win a trophy this season.
With this squad, we have to happen. It's an impossibility for us not to win anything. We're going to win something this season. We have to.
No, I agree. I think we're going to win something this season. If we don't, I don't know. But maybe we just need to give up. It's never going to happen if we don't.
Hey,
man.
start watching cricket. Start watching cricket with Kenny.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
Finally.
We're going to get the Lords.
guys, I'm warning you now. If we don't win a trophy next season, hold on to your hats because we are going to be a banter club for like. We are
honestly,
going to
man.
get it big time from all angles. I'll
I
tell
don't know if we'll be able to go again. Like just seeing the table saying 0 points again and 0 games played, and then seeing the
This is what I'm
fixtures.
saying.
And
How did a
I'll
player
go again after winning nothing. Maybe I'll just quit. Yeah, let's go. Fucking
Just control alt delete, innit? Yeah.
All right, guys,
I'm
ask
done
a
with
question.
football,
What
mate.
sounds better? What sounds better? When the fixture list starts next season, and the guys at Sky said, right, the league champions Arsenal, their first game is going to be against
I know.
Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. I think that stands better than champions in Europe, personally.
No. But the trouble is, though, is it
I know what you
still
mean.
going to be? Will we still be open to banter if we just come away with a Carabao Cup this season? I mean,
You know what, JB? I don't care what they say. It's a trophy.
I don't care what they say, but is it
No, I
enough?
want the league. I want the league.
I
I
want
want the
everything.
league.
It wouldn't be an absolute disaster, like I was saying, if we win nothing, but it wouldn't be good enough. This team's far too good for just the Carabao Cup. And I'm not trying to disrespect the Carabao Cup. I know when you put just the Carabao Cup, it sounds like you are, but we're better than that.
We are better than that. I would take it, but we are better than that.
That's what I
And
think.
I think we
we've got to
will
win
win
the
something
league.
this year, man. I think we will. But
Bloody hope.
look, let's come to a close there. It's been a great show, people. It really has. Big up to everyone that's been here. Big up to everyone that's in the chat. Big up to all the super chatters. Make sure you do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. And of course, go and show some love to OK Jerseys. Use the code 12man. And of course, we've got Match Bingo in the live chat as well. Make sure you're using the code POTS for that. Big up to Christian. What you got coming up, my bro? How can people follow you?
Yeah, Christian Thai Sports on socials. Me and Dan put an episode out today about Manchester City and Arsenal at the moment, so go and check that out. And yeah, man, just normal content.
Love that. Big up. Aaron?
Yeah, man. Firstly, Dan, big up for having me on, bruv.
Big up,
big
bro.
up to Miss Potts in the chat. Big up to the chat. Smash the likes. Support all the geezers on the on the panel. Big up to Christian as well. Kenny, DJB, Matty. Aaron Talks Arsenal, of course. I'm going to be next live doing a little cheeky call-in on a Friday about 8, 9 o'clock-ish. So if anyone wants to jump on, you are more than welcome in the chat or whoever. That's what it's all about. Jump on. Let's just talk some football.
Love that, Aaron. Big up. Matty?
Big up, Potts. Appreciate you for inviting me on. JB, third show this week, man. Kenny, second show this week, man.
Third show.
Yeah, Aaron, second show this
Yeah,
week.
bruv. Come on, Matty. London bus and that.
Christian, hadn't seen you in a while, man. Hope you're doing well. And
Bro.
this weekend, I think I'm going to probably try to do something over on my channel, dust off the cobwebs. I finally got some time off from work, so I'll probably do something on my channel this weekend. And that's it, man. That's it.
Love that, bro.
Big up.
Love that. Big up, man. Big up for jumping on. DJB, big up to you, man. What you got coming up?
Yeah, Arsenal huddle. I've got some stuff coming out on Thursday with Kenny and that. Yeah, Thursday chat. Tomorrow I'm busy, so I've moved my tomorrow show to Friday. So come and join now. Yeah, thanks a lot, Potts, for having me on. Christian, always good to share the screen with you, my friend. Aaron, as always. Kenny, Matty, and the chat. Yeah, brilliant. And debate and D earlier. Big up to D as well.
Yeah, big up D. Yeah.
Don't know what happened to D.
Yeah, he didn't have long, man. He texted, I can't be on
big
for
up
long,
to
and I
D
was
as
not
well.
bothered,
So,
yeah,
and big up
big
the
up
chat.
to him.
And listen, man, it's all good. It's all debate, but we all want one thing: Arsenal to win trophies, and that's what we're all here for. So, big up to everyone.
Oh, fair play. Kenny, likewise, man.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna be with DJB on Thursday. We're gonna have a discussion, but I know I say this all the time, but this Saturday, get yourselves over to the Zone and see if you can see me in a crowd, because I'll be at the second instalment of Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Ben, and hopefully the same result happens. But yeah, I'm going to be.
What's your prediction? Quickly, what's your prediction?
I want to know. I think Chris Eubank Jr. is going to win again on points, unanimous decision. That's what I think. But I'll tell you one thing. it was nice to be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and thinking that I could go incognito, and everyone, when I went to go and wash my hands, I had loads of people singing me Arsenal songs to me. I just can't get away with it. It was brilliant, bloody brilliant. So yeah, anyone who doesn't like boxing, getting interested in boxing, because I promise you, a night out of the boxing is the best night of your life.
That was one of the best fights I've seen in a long time.
Watch the Arsenal.
They got a good undercard, Kenny.
Oh, there's some very good undercards. We've got a very good undercard. You know, Adam Azim's fighting on the undercards. You know, and there's a couple of championship fights. I promise you, if you can get there, and there's tickets available still. You've got no excuses. What would you rather do? Go to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, watch a bit of boxing, or watch Strictly Come Dancing? I know what I'll do.
It's enough.
Kenny, you're everywhere, isn't he? He's everywhere. You got click on TNT. He's at the Emirates in the crowd.
Kenny, I'm with
One of it
Simon
Sky
Jordan.
Sports. He's on Lords at the cricket.
Mate,
You know what I mean? Get on the zone.
Hey,
He's everywhere, our Ken.
The fact is that I was brought up to play every sport and enjoy every sport, but my favourite sport's football. But boxing does come a close second of football.
Yeah, I love boxing. I love boxing.
I just love the sport.
I think Conor Ben might do it this time. I think Conor Ben might do it.
I think you want him to do it, but he ain't going to happen.
More importantly, Kenny, we've got the Ashes round the corner. Now we're talking. Come on.
Oh, the Ashes. The Ashes. Well, Australia going to win the series 3-1.
Well, it's time to wrap up now because I'm not interested in cricket. That's
Australia win 3-1 in the Ashes.
I knew showdown anyway, mate.
Don't mention cricket.
Get out of here, that is. I mean, unless anyone wants a cure for insomnia, we'll leave DJB and Kenny to it. And you know,
I'm getting up early to watch it.
You know,
I bet you guys.
I'll be up watching the Ashes, mate. Don't worry about it.
Make sure you're following everyone, people. Big up to Sava for the raid as well. Absolute legend. We're going to send you over to Troops, who's doing his Jamaica stream. So go show some love. Go support over there. Go scan the QR code and go and say Potts raid over on Troops TV. We'll see you next time. We're out of here, people. Laters.
Big up, guys.
Yeah.